Okay. So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining this call and this talk. So, my name is Joël Grandguillaume. I'm the Business Solution Department Head at Camptocamp. Camptocamp is working with Odoo since 17 years now, and it has a European outreach. We're present in Switzerland, Germany, and France. And about myself, among other things, I have quite a solid experience in logistics and supply chain, and this is the main purpose of this talk. So here is the agenda for the talk of today. I will introduce a strong context because the problematic we're gonna see together is not so easy to get. So I have to place you well the context, so you hopefully will understand well the challenges that were faced during this presentation. Then we will review the three main challenges that we solved during this use case that I want to show you. And we will end up with a conclusion that will highlight the major learnings that we had during this project. So everything starts with presenting first the customer. So the customer is called Cosanum. It's a leader in the healthcare industry in Switzerland since 40 years. It runs Odoo since 2020, and it's a very wide scope project which has more than 800 modules installed, and it covers scopes, all the big apps, so finance, purchase, logistic, including the WMS stack of the OCA. It has an e-commerce, several sales channels, and it also has additional apps that they use, like the fleet management, human resources, help desk, and more. So really one of the broadest scope that Camptocamp had to deal with. So this talk is about a nice story about the COSA OP. So first of all, I'd like to introduce you a little bit the context that made this COSA OP a reality here in Switzerland. So Cosanum had the conclusion that the hospital are not logisticians, right? So for them, handling the goods, managing the carton, the blister, and everything is really not part of the main jobs. It's difficult for them. It's difficult also to store the appropriate quantity of the goods, getting them on the right time, at the right place. Plus, there is a very heavy healthcare regulation in Switzerland, so it's make all this very costly for hospital to face this challenge. And here, Cosanum seen. It's okay. Okay. So seen that actually there is a very big opportunity to do something for the customer to really improve the service that they were delivering. So that's the birth of COSA OP. So what is COSA OP exactly? So it's about shipping the surgery material directly inside the surgery room of hospitals, right? So mainly the service of Cosanum in this case has those 5 different steps. So first they will store the surgery material on behalf of the hospitals in very large quantity to ensure that the supply will never get stock out. The second part is about preparing the trolley. So it's organized trolley, and they will fulfill it with the surgery kit that is necessary for the hospital, and they will then ship it on a regular basis. And this trolley will really reach inside the surgery clean room of the hospital and be stocked there. So every surgery can occur, and it's easy to take one surgery kit after another in the right order. So that is really the brilliant idea of this COSA OP that definitely encounter a lot of success in Switzerland. And in order to make this a reality, basically, we had to support this process inside Odoo. So how that's going to work? So first, we have to take the order. So of course, hospital will place several orders, and here you have to record this order with the surgery reference number and a proper ordering of the schedule, which should map the surgery schedule of the hospital. Then there is a second part of the process is to plan the trolley. So you should compute for an order how many trolley you will have to build and ship to the hospital, and give feedback while you take it. so you know if there is still space in a trolley or not. So there is all a challenge about computing this capacity. Then, of course, Cosanum has to assemble those kits inside a white room, respecting the healthcare regulations. Then you build the trolley itself, so placing the right kit on the right order. And finally, you ship those trolley with the appropriate document and traceability informations. So, among other things, those are the three major challenges that I'd like to talk about with you today. So the first is about detecting the order. So it's how did we manage to take this order properly and computing the capacity of those trolleys. The second is about getting a real efficient assembly process. So here we will see we were able to definitely improve a lot the efficiency of Odoo in this regard. And finally, how did we made a process to fulfill those trolley in the proper order and make zero error. Of course, if you go for a knee operation, you don't want to use a heart attack set, and in this medical industry, that's really something you cannot afford to make any mistake. So quite a challenging one. Now I have to highlight a few Odoo notions for you to get a good understanding of what follows next. So we will use the sale order object to record the order. We will use the OCA shop floor stack to guide operators through all the steps and make the most efficient process we were able to deliver. Then another notion, the kit, the surgery kit will be used as a manufactured product inside Odoo of type kit, and we have standards and specific kits. So standard kit, the one that are used by most hospitals, and specialized kit that I built up on order for some specific surgeries that some hospitals are specialized into. So we will use a two-step manufacturing configuration inside Odoo. So we will pick the component in the stock, and then we will manufacture the kit. Each kit will receive a unique serial number to ensure a proper traceability that is compliant with the medical and healthcare regulation. And we will use the manufacturing mechanism of Odoo to ensure all the traceability of the component of a kit. So this is what we will reuse from the standard Odoo bricks. Then this talk is also about GS1. I don't know how familiar you are with this. So GS1 is actually a system of standards, one of the most broadly used worldwide, and it supports three areas. So the first areas is to identify things. So how do we identify trade item, logistic unit, a location, and all these things is normalized in one of the standard system of just GS1 norm. The second area is about the capture. So how can you recognize and actually read a barcode? The most famous barcode norm that we know is EAN13 that comes from this GS1 system of standard. And there is a third part that is less known about exchanging data. So normalized standard about how you exchange master data, transactional data, and event data. So this is exactly what means this GS1. In our case, we used mostly the identify and the capture norm to define this label that can be compliant with the regulation. So now that the context is hopefully well placed, we can start talking about the challenge. So first challenge is to take those order according to the surgery schedule of each hospitals. So for this, the first step was rather easy. We added some fields on the sale order, so you can record the surgery reference on each line. You can have a couple more checks on the sale order to be sure that every product in this sale order is products that are compliant to be shipped in a trolley in a clean environment. So you don't want to add other kind of product in this order. And then we ensure that when you confirm the order, all the relevant information will be propagated in all logistic operation behind. Most of the challenge was about the trolley. So we needed Odoo to be able to compute the trolley capacity. So defining how many shelves have a wagon and so on. The goal of all that is to know at order taking time how many trolley you need, so the customer can reduce as most as possible their own cost of shipping, trying to fulfill the most inside each trolley. So it's really a customer service oriented mindset here. To do so, you have type of trolley. For each trolley, you define how many shelves you want. Here we got an example with 4 shelves for a certain type of trolley. The complicated part is the configuration here. So you will define on each shelf what are the possible combination of package that you can have on a given shelf. For example, you can get 2 small package on the left and 2 small package, meaning kits, on the right, or you can have 1 big and 2 smalls, or 2 smalls and 1 big, and all these are different combination. Why it is important? Because with this definition, if, for example, I will have 2 small kits and 2 big kits ordered, I will be in the case of the third and fourth line. So Odoo knows that the last big kit is on the first position of the 4th shelf. This is very important that Odoo identify exactly where will be this kit. So when we will do the process inside the logistic, Odoo can control that there is 0 error of where you place each kit. And so there will not be a wrong usage of the wrong kit for the wrong surgery, which is one of the major problems of the hospital to actually warranty this part. So actually Cosanum was taking over all this complexity and offer that as a service for the hospitals. At the end of the day, this is how you end. So you get an order. When you will add the carrier inside Odoo, basically the system will compute the number of trolley, will order the kits on the right order, how it should be placed in the trolley, and it will then produce the pick, pack, ship operation, and you will end up with 1 delivery order per trolley. So here we tackle the challenge. So the order of the line are kept, the capacity of the trolley is working, and Odoo knows exactly where each kit should be placed in each of the trolley. The second challenge is about the assembly process. So that was quite a challenge in terms of efficiency. So first, a little summary of the business flow here. So when you will manufacture something in Odoo, it's something that could be decoupled from the order taking process, right? So it's something aside. You will at the time trigger the production of that many kits that you need. You will pick up the components that we call the pre-picking here. Then we'll assemble the kit in itself, which occurs actually inside a white room with clean air and everything needed for actually building surgery kit, as you can imagine. Then we will label those kits, attributing a unique serial, producing the GS1 compliant label, sticking it on it, and then finally we store the final product, right? So this is the major steps of this process. In standard Odoo, well, it's a bit small, but it's really to understand the big picture, right? So first, the material flow, so from component to the pre-production, pre-production to production, production to final storage, that's the line above. And then the way Odoo acts in standard is that you will have to pick all the material needed for building, let's say, 10 heart attack kits. So you will gather everything, you will bring it to the assembly, and then you have to scan again all components to tell in each kit which component you place. And that makes this whole process very long and heavy. Scanning the local destination, scanning the lot, scanning the destination all over again for each of the kit. I've counted. It's more than 7,000 scans that you will need for per order. So an order in the case of Cosanum is 12 kits on average. And so you can imagine how much time it needed. If we imagine it 3 seconds per scan, that's the average in logistic. It ends up with 1 full day of work per order. It's a lot of work to actually produce only 1 order for 1 customer. So one of the brilliant ideas we had to make it more smooth is actually in your picking wagon, you have several cases, and we will pick up material for 1 kit in 1 case. So we know that in that case, we have all the components during picking time. So we actually will record the traceability information and be sure that in the case 1, we have the kit for all the components for kit 1, for the case 2, for the case 3. And so we can directly relate it to the proper manufacturing order without rescanning it all over again, right? And that makes a complete difference in the end of the day. So you will have only 1 operation that will actually process many transactional information inside Odoo and finally print out the label. So while I am picking, the system ensures me I record all the components for my first kit in my first box, all the components for my second kit for my second box, and so on. I shoot the traceability information, and when I'm done, the label will just be stick on that box, and I know I have all the components for my produced kit. Roughly, it made the process 4 times faster. So we get down to 2 hours per order instead of a full day work per order, which of course made a big difference on an average order. Just to picture what does this famous GS1 label looks like. So this is the label. So basically what's important is the number below. It's a normalized one, so the 240 stands for the manufacturer identifier code, the 11 for the manufacturing date, which is the date at which you assemble the kit in this white room, and finally the 10 is the serial unique number of that very kit that will allow to get all the traceability of all the components and the expiry date of all the components of your kits and so on. So shooting this data matrix will actually teach the person that shoot it all the information that they need to keep track of the whole traceability chain. This one is compliant with the medical regulation in Switzerland, for example, and this is how you can leverage this GS1 norm. The third challenge is to fulfill the trolley in the right order. So this is where we want no error at all. So that the main business processes that follow. So first of all, we will order the operation of the operator loading the trolley, right? So every steps in the barcode scanner is ordered in the order he should place the kit in the trolley. And the person will always pick a kit. He will shoot the GS1 label that we sticked when we produced it and shoot the trolley position. And so the system can control that each kit is placed on the right place on the trolley. And we know that because we computed where goes each kit in the order taking time, if you remember. When we have placed all the kit in the wagon, we will move the whole wagon inside. We see there is an inner wagon that will go inside the trolley room, and we place this inner wagon in an outer wagon to protect it from dirt and be able to be traveling by truck. So this is the packing operation, where we will actually create one pack in Odoo that contain all the kits. And we will then label this with the package content list, let's say an improved version of the package content list, and then finally we ship it. So here, the operations are ordered by the same order than the order line schedule that you had at the order taking time, and you will use the shop floor from the OCA to actually ensure the process is made right. So each time you shoot the GS1 label of the production that you stick during the assembly time, and you put it away shooting the trolley position, and you repeat that. And after each scan that you place a kit, the system will print out this patient label. So this is stick on the kit, and it tells some information that is humanly readable, so you know which order does it refer to, you know the patient reference number to which this surgery kit is destined to. And finally, the serial number, or the unique one that represents this kit. So if they shoot it, that's the way the hospital will actually track everything in here. Then quickly, the packing, just to let you know that usually in Odoo, when you pack, you have to shoot everything back again one more time. Here we made it quicker. So if you shoot twice the package content, it's going to pack it all, and we win a lot of time in here. I won't go too much into detail here. And that's the important last part that I wanted to show you, is the advanced content that we can get. So here we will see that you have really, so the kit and all the component of the kit, thanks to the chain move in Odoo, we improved a bit this report, and that report is also compliant with the healthcare regulation, because you know for each serial number of one surgery kit, all the components with the lot and all expiry date and everything. So the hospital really get everything in a package. They have to do nothing, and they know they are absolutely compliant with the law. So quickly conclusion, we had only 3 major operations to actually improve this situation. And basically, we were 4 times faster on the manufacturing assembly picking time. We were able to manage a 0 error process during the trolley planning. And finally, the packing operation was 50 times faster. So basically, they run from 1 order a day up to 5 orders a day after we were implementing this. But the major advantage of that was there were no more error in the shipping. And of course, in the context of medical, you can imagine that this is probably the best advantage of that new process. So final word, just some key learnings. If you use properly the GS1 and write appropriate barcode flows, you can save a lot of time. If you do put inside the sale order directly some capacity computation, you can make your customers save a lot of transportation costs. Of course, a 0 error process should be well tailored inside the barcode process flow, and it's very important. And finally, GS1 and customized report were able to tackle and be compliant with the healthcare regulation quite easily in Odoo. Well, that's it for my talk. I hope you enjoyed it. You can shoot the GS1 compliant label on the top left if you'd like to ask some question, or at the top right if you want to reach me out later on if you have anything you'd like to know more in details. Thank you.
A first question, how did you make sure that the company was compliant with the healthcare regulations? Was there an official check you had to go through?
Yes, of course. So there is all a requirement sheet. So this is described by, in our case, the Swiss law. So you get a very indigest document that you have to read to be sure you are compliant with that. In the end of the day, you see that there is a lot to read, but it materialized somehow in a quite easy, or solved in a quite easy manner, respecting some standard in the way you print out a barcode and you distribute the tracking information, and it was done. So a lot to read, but in the end, the solution is quite easy to set and put in place in the end.
Thank you. A question about the flow. What happens with the material that is not used during the surgery?
That is not used in the surgery room. Yeah. Basically, all the ID you see when you are in this context, how it was made before. So the hospital get to stock, I don't know if that answered the question, but they have to stock a lot of things. So there are carton and blister, and those is dusty, so it's very heavy for them to respect this clean part. So for them, it was actually very hard to open all those cartons downstairs, clean them up all, bring it up at the proper time in the surgery room. So you can imagine all these chains for an hospital is really a nightmare. And there in Cosanum, all this part of the opening of the carton, everything open, is actually made inside a clean air and control environment room. We call it white room. So they removed a lot of all these parts not used. So what you place in the trolley is actually only surgery material, and that's it. So when the trolley arrives, you only have that part and none else. I don't know if that was the question, but...
Can you tell us more about the truck space optimization?
Yes, so there actually we were computing for the trolley, and then truth is in the medical is a bit special. So if you are in the retail, of course it matters a lot to actually optimize your truck. When in the medical context, it's not really like this. What matters is that you can ship on time the right thing, and you don't care if you have to take 1 or 2 or 3 trucks. So the truck capacity was not really part of that project in this case. We made it for others. In this case, what matters was really the how many trolley, because you've seen those trolley, it's very expensive trolley, compliant with the regulation and everything. So what matters is to know how many trolley you need, not how many trucks.
Thank you. Do you manage the material expiration dates using FIFO method, and how can you make sure that the expiration dates are followed using the barcode?
Yeah, so this is it's in the reception process that is actually handled, and it's based on FIFO, not FIFO. So in this case, when you will record every every lot of every material, what we do is we assign the package inside Odoo. So we call sometimes in the logistic, we call this SSCC for serial, unique shipping serial material or container code. So we give a unique ID to a subset of a certain number of product of a certain lot with a certain expiry date. So we know when we shoot this package, this is this lot of this product of this expiry. So it's handled inside the reception process, and then you just have to reuse the package when you assemble the kit.
Thank you. Final question. How did the hospital register the receiving? Do they have access to Odoo to confirm the receiving?
No, no. Actually, this part is not made inside Odoo at all. And I mean, it's kind of obvious because you get there, they are awaited. You will lift them up until the surgery room, so the Cosanum will really ship it. And you know, in surgery, you get this red line, and behind this red line, it must be clean air. So you get there with your outer vegan. They open a bridge between the two, and the person of the hospital will actually take the inner vegan inside the surgery room. And I mean, it's a special reception. You don't need to sign off everything, right? I mean, it's handled by the medical people.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. If anything more curious, join me later on. Thank you.